Day 21. So this is a quick 14-minute sketch. I'm in an outdoor like pop-up tent, and there's a bunch of these little lights lining it. The lights are probably like that big, and so I drew one of them. There's a lot of details in it, but since there's not a ton of like shadows and darks, this was able to be done quicker, just doing the orb or the globe, and then a lot of the details in some of the socket, and most detail is probably in the actual fixture on the inside. But I'll break down more of the process for this one in the bonus video. Stay tuned for that. Alright, doing a quick bonus video today about the light bulb sketch that I just posted previously. So the light bulb sketch, this is the final drawing. I'll show the process of the initial sketch, just getting the circle shape, and then the little socket, which is more of a rectangle. So I'll show some of those images while I talk about it. Basically, this is a really good example because it's such a simple silhouette. This is a circle, so with getting proportions and everything with this was really just getting the circle, and then this, though it's a cylinder, it's almost turned completely on its side, so it's more of a rectangle, and then it's just like a cone shape right here for the socket to go into. So it's breaking it up into those basic shapes with a circle, rectangle, and then part of like a cone, just to get the placement of all the parts together. And from there, I was getting the shapes on that and the edge of this lip, and just rendering out the different surfaces. Most of the focus going in here and there, and outlining it with that gold marker. And there's some silver metallic highlights inside too. But that's it for this one. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, feel free to leave them below. Alright, thank you. Alright, day 22. Who doesn't like a good wordplay? For those who don't, I'm sorry in advance, but this is my snickerdoodle. This is a drawing of a Snicker bar, and it's a doodle, which is another word for drawing or sketch. This came about, I think, talking about different snacks and candies with my daughter about what she likes. So I was going to draw a Snicker bar, and then the idea about the cookie came to mind. So anyways, surprisingly a lot of detail in one of those bars. This is this is a drawing of a bar that I opened up and cut a bisection in the front, so you can see all the nougaty goodness and the peanuts and such inside. Oh, and the caramel, can't forget that. So this was a 36-minute sketch, and the candy bar did not last that long. Alright, day 23. Today's Revelations workday. So I'm working on one of my old characters. This guy is named Kedar. Some people called him Keter. So this one was 22 minutes, just a quick like study with his face. I haven't drawn this guy in a while, so looking from old reference from my comic books and just getting re-familiar with him. He has exaggerated features, the big neck and the big ears, and usually his hat is really down so you don't even see his eyes. Once in a while you see one of the eyes poking through. He has white hair, and he has scars all over his body because he has had a tough life. So this sketch was pretty rough. We're doing some of you see a lot of the lines, the guidelines to get the angles from underneath. Prisma markers like I was talking about for the shade here, and the Prismacolor pencil on this side. Hey guys, today is day 24, and this is a quick 20-minute drawing. It's really a study of a tree that I was looking at. It has really thick bark, and I like the bark because the chunky sections, I guess, gives more place to like kind of play with the planes and the shape of it. So I started this side, kind of rendered it out, getting a lot of detail of the wood grain and the different planes where they have sides that kind of are edges. But I jumped around, so like there's focal point in here, but this is kind of left bare. and this is kind of left bare. We got the Prismacolor this side and then the silver lining. With this 30-day kind of experiment, it's really kind of exercise helped me to grow, to draw different things and to draw more consistently, but even push myself to draw quickly, because I really wanted to get caught up in all the details of everything and keep drawing. This would have taken a long time, so I just cut it at 20 minutes and had a couple areas of interest. Alright, really quick bonus video today. I'm going to talk a little bit about these Prismacolor markers. These are markers that I use mostly now whenever I do like sketch work and different things like that. They're a little pricey. There's other cheaper markers, but these, I think they blend really well. You don't have a lot of the streaks in it. This is a warm gray 80 and a warm gray 50. These are very old, so they're running out. Both of them are kind of on their last leg. But these have been the ones I've used to bring like more of the dark tones in here. And like you see it with the background here, and a lot of the just the outlining or giving like a background to the bring out some depth. The cool thing about the markers when they do fade and when they are running out, like this one is not a lot left in it, so it's like fading off, and it gives like a cool texture approach to it. A lot of times when they're newer, you get more of the solid blocking and they fill up the shapes better. And you can overlap and fill areas, but the older ones are kind of running out. Prisma markers, I do definitely endorse those. A lot of automotive sketch artists use it for really quick blocking and shapes and getting some form and movement. I don't do a lot of coloring in my sketches, as you know, as you see from these. Most of my coloring and more refined and rendered out sketch or artwork is digital, but these are good markers to use. I like them. I've used them since early college days, so I do recommend them if you're into that kind of thing. Hope that helps. Day 25, 37-minute drawing. Alright, I don't really draw houses or buildings a lot, so this is kind of, I felt like it was important to do a little venture out into some kind of schematic with more angles and rigid lines that you get from drawing structures like this, which is different from some of the other stuff in this series, most of it. So this, I felt like I really had to draw this beautiful Spanish colonial home. I even got a couple little happy trees in there, but I was really inspired by this house and I wanted to draw it. This doesn't really do it justice. I'm trying out some new shapes and structures for this series, and I didn't even do the 2 vanishing points with the 2-point perspective, which you should do for doing perspective. So this is mostly like a really quick freehand sketch. Day 26. So today's sketch is 39 minutes. It's of a shoe. This is not just any shoe, this is the LeBron Soldier 10. The interesting story behind this one is I used to play basketball more, now I'm more dodgeball enthusiast, and this shoe, I was looking for shoes that had a lot of ankle support because there's a lot of cutting on the court and jab steps to dodge the ball, so these are probably the next shoes that I'll get. Some of it's finished and then other parts are still like left open. Shoes are really interesting in a similar way that cars are to me, because the angles and the different lines that they make, I don't draw them a lot, but I think it's really cool to see the angles and all the shapes that they have in it. Actually, to enter into Otis, one of my portfolio elements was a Nike shoe that I had to draw from observation too. That's a long time ago. Okay, so this is day 27, and that means there's only 3 more days. 3 more days left in this drawing series, I guess. So this one is 35-minute drawing, and here's what it looks like. Orange mocha frappuccino. So those who have seen Zoolander will know that reference. That's a reference that for years has followed me and my circle of friends around. So it's definitely not something you find on the menu at Starbucks, but this is one of those sketches where I'm doing the half finished and then half not finished to show some of the process too. So this one is just a drink that I drew. and some of the highlights, Prismacolor markers, Prismacolor pencils, Prismacolor markers here, and then ballpoint pen. I'll talk a little bit about this later in the bonus video. Okay, so for the bonus video today, like I mentioned, I'll talk a little bit about this. What is this? So these marks, if you can see them, this is just testing out the markers, these gray ones. But all these little squiggly black ones, and you can see it better on like this one. These things, that's actually me cleaning the pen. What I'm using for all these drawings is just a basic standard zebra ballpoint pen, so that kind. And what happens when you do like 1,000 strokes, or maybe a few thousand strokes in a lot of the rendering, because every single thing is a line, the pen will develop a little bit of excess ink on the ball of it. So what I do after every few strokes, I wipe it off. If you're trying to do some detailed fine lines, you don't want to have a chunk of ink blob, because it's going to ruin any kind of cross-hatching or technical line work or really fine lines. So that's what those blots are on pretty much all of the sketches in here. There are some of them on all the different pages. So there's only one more bonus video to share, but that's it for today's. Hey guys, day 28. This one's a little bit longer, 55 minutes. I kind of took my time with this one. A few weeks ago I posted a poll asking what people wanted to see more of in these drawings. So I asked for celebrity portrait. This one is this. So I think you might be able to tell who it is. A lot of you probably can just from looking at it. I hope so. But she's a singer and actress, and I'll let you guess who it is. I won't mention it, but I've been wanting to draw her for a while, and so I finally got around to it. I'm glad I did it in these 30 days. It's a little different. It's not strictly observational. This is from obviously photo reference that I looked at, but it's stylized. I wanted to stretch out her proportions and make it more of my kind of character design style. So if you know who it is, leave comments below. Hey y'all, this is day 29. This is a 47-minute drawing. That means only one more day. Here is a drawing of my daughter. She actually helped me pick out this picture. In her hair, you can see there's a lot of little shapes. Those shapes are little, I think it's baby's breath, the little petals, little flowers that are on that plant. So we went to a farmer's market in Pasadena with some friends, and she ended up seeing a family that had a bunch of them in their hair from, I guess, the garden. So she decided to do that too and pose so elegantly. So I was picking pictures, like what pose I was gonna draw her in, and so she picked this one. I guess that's her favorite one. So this is day 29. There is only one day left, and then I will complete this whole thing. Okay, this is day 30, the last day. Let's do this. Actually, there's a bunch of construction in the back. I don't know if you can hear that. It's annoying, but we're gonna just power through. 1 hour, 18 minutes. This is the last drawing. This is actually my wife, so I want to wish her happy birthday. As I'm filming this, happy birthday, happy birthday. It's actually her birthday today. So happy birthday, Kytia. I love you. So this was actually planned on being the last drawing a couple weeks ago, but as life happens, a lot of delays and things can get in the way. So all of my drawing supplies for this series were lost or stolen, or they may have fell out of my bag or something, or someone could take it out, I don't know. So that put a damper and a delay on these things, but I still found other supplies that weren't as good. So some of the line, weight, and different things aren't as clean as I would have liked them, but this is the last one. I'll do a little bonus recap at the end. Hope you like it. Alright, so this is the last bonus video that I'm doing. This one, I'll try to keep pretty quick, but this is how some of my measurements get done. Old, like, life drawing, figure drawing techniques, where you just look at something and you're like, you use your pen, and you take, like, a measurement. Say it's like, oh, the glasses are that high, and then they are a little bit longer than they are high, and that's like one way to measure things, is you look at it from a distance, and you kind of say, oh, my head is that big, so my chin to my eyebrows is about the width of this part of my head. And you just got to keep the your distance from the object equal. You can't do this and then do another measurement because they'll be off. But that's how I do a lot of, because all these are, the majority of these are observational. So if I'm looking at the actual cup that I'm drawing, and I'll look at it and I'll measure it this way, and then I'll say, well, that's about as much as the width of the rim. So that's how a lot of these measurements happen, because they're not, I mean, it's eyeballing it from a distance and just trying to figure out, well, her head is this tall and versus this wide, so it's actually a perfect square, and then you add on the things. So that's really for placement and a lot of the getting the objects and the parts where they belong. So that's the last tip from me. I enjoyed doing this series. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it. So it's definitely something I don't really do that often, but it's something I'm passionate about, having come from a teaching background and mentoring upcoming students, art students especially. So I hope you guys got something out of this. If you guys are interested in more, please let me know, and maybe I'll do another series in the future. Thank you guys. Thanks. See you. Catch you next time. Alright, thanks guys. God bless you.